Hey, it's your girl Go Queen with the Q Chat podcast. Thank you for tuning in to our latest episode. Before we get started, I want to give you some information on how you can grab some Q Chat merchandise. Go to www.goqueen.com and there you can purchase any Q Chat merchandise or any of my Go Love Yourself tees. So go ahead, take a look at the website and feel free to grab some merchandise today. There's something else I want to fill you guys in on. If you haven't heard, Anchor is the hottest and easiest way to make a podcast. It's the best price in the world, free. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And just remember, Anchor distributes your podcast to all streaming platforms. It's super simple. So go ahead and sit back and get ready to listen to the next episode of the Q Chat. But don't forget, go to www.goqueen.com and grab some merchandise. Thank you for tuning in and get ready to listen in. Go Queen! Thank you for joining. So we're at part 2 of the interview with Mr. William Poole of Addiction Matters. As I mentioned, anyone that follows on IG, I'm dedicating the entire month of June to Black Kings in honor of Mr. George Floyd, in honor of Eric Garner, in honor of Philando Castile, Trayvon Martin, and so many countless African-American Black Kings that have lost their lives due to just hatred and unnecessary violence. Of course, anyone that listens to the show, as you know, this is Go Queen, so the whole show in general is also indeed, and it's dedicated to the Queen. So Sandra Bland, beautiful Breonna Taylor, you will forever live in our hearts. Thank you for the support of this show, but please listen up. We're going to be dedicating the entire month of June to the Black Kings, but once again, Black Lives Matter. This is a rough time for everyone, so it's not much to say. It's just been a very solemn, somber period, but please tune in to this special episode and take care, everyone. Black Lives Matter.
That's
Wow.
what, I feel I'm called to do, man, and I just try to keep it so thorough. Sometimes some people could ask me something and it may be like, oh Lordy, what to be? No,
Yeah.
I don't know. Cause they see one thing about me, which you gonna realize is that I don't hold nothing back. And I don't, there is no secret because you won't never be able to
Right.
say something about Will that somebody else don't know. Cause God damn it, I want the world to know. If it happened to me, I'm gonna tell you it happened to me. My life is an
Right.
open book. You know why? Because it sets me more free every day I talk about it. Every day I talk about it. And see,
Yes.
I want people to just gravitate to what it is I'm saying. And I want them to know that, man, you can do this. You sitting on them secrets right now. You hiding yourself. You shame. There's no need to be shamed. There's none. When I was a child, those things happened, of course.
Right.
Of course. But guess what? I was powerless. I was taken advantage of. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault.
And it wasn't your
for
fault.
years, I would not talk about it because I was too ashamed. I was like, man, how can I, what my friends gonna think if they hear? This is one thing telling it to a stranger, but how my family and my loved ones, what they gonna think? What my homeboys gonna be like? They gonna think, God damn, Will, a dude held you down and inserted himself in you? What? What they gonna think about me? Will they think I'm gay? Well, I'm having all these thoughts. I'm having all these feelings, But I found myself becoming free as I begin to talk about it. God damn, and I promise you, when it happened, it just happened. I never forget when I first broke it out. It was not planned. It wasn't planned. I was in the counseling session when I tell you this counselor,
Right.
oh my Lord, I don't know how she did what she did, but when she did it, she like sucked it out of me, and it was like the words was coming out, and I was trying to pull them back in, right? But them suckers kept on spitting.
Right.
They just kept on jumping out, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hold up, hold up, hold up. And
Right.
they just coming. And man, I noticed the relief afterward. And from that day forward, I made it a part of my story, because I would only give half. I would only give what I thought they wanted to hear. But I would never talk about the parts such as that, you know, because I was concerned about how I was
Mm-hmm.
going to be looked at, what the people thought, you know. Yeah.
What people thought. Right. But a common thread, because having you on the show, I've also had Adrena, as me and you both know. I've had Tiffany Moss on the show, and the common thread that we all share is some form of abuse. But you notice, I feel like when there's a common thread of abuse, or if there's a common thread of a step, especially being violated as children, everyone, they may have handled it differently, but everyone has tried to mask that in some kind of way, because like I had mentioned with
Hmm.
Tiffany's interview, a lot of us are walking around, we broken adults. We holding on to something that happened to us as children, and unfortunately, we think we've numbed it. We may find different ways to numb it. Just like me and Tiffany and Adrena, we've unfortunately dealt with abusive men, because it's like this these common threads of abuse, and
Mm-hmm.
we've all found a way to try and mask it and numb it, but it's still the same common thread as people who have
Mm-hmm.
experienced abuse,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. And, we're trying to
Mm-hmm.
get past it, but sometimes we just don't know how to get past it. So, we find different ways to try and hide it and try and mask it. And like you said, we still holding on to shame. We worrying about what people going to think about us if we say something, or why didn't you say something earlier? It's like so many things that go through your mind when you try and deal with it. And that everyone has that common fear,
Hmm.
to a degree. Well, what are people going to think? Should I really say this? Oh my
Right,
God,
right,
if I say
right.
it to so and so, I don't want blah 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 to hear it. So we all deal with this nonsense, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's freeing. It lifts a weight to
Mm-hmm.
just get it out. And it's not an easy journey to get to that point, though. So anybody listening, don't we not trying to tell y'all that part. It's not easy to get to that
Whoo!
stage, but once
This
you do
is
get to it, it is such a relief
such a
to finally
relief.
get it out, and it also helps the next person. And that's right, and that's the purpose of the pain, because just like you were worried about, oh, what is so and so gonna think about me? But imagine how many people will listen to what you said, or listen to what Adrena said, or listen to what Tiffany said, or listen to
Right,
some of the things I've
right.
said, and it's like, oh my God, they went through that too. So just for anybody listening, like, don't ever feel ashamed. Don't worry about what
Hmm.
the people
Come
that's
on.
going to say something negative
Come
about
on,
you.
sister.
That's not your audience. It's like, don't focus on them.
Hmm.
Focus on the people that when you say this is going to touch them. So just for people who I know, a lot of y'all walking around
Mm-hmm.
with some awesome testimonies that can help the next person, but you're afraid because you're worrying about,
Hmm.
oh, so and so gonna judge me. So just remember, that is not your audience. The people that's gonna say something negative, the people that's gonna judge you, the people that's being fake. Because I said that to your wife. Actually, she had made a post last week, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, look, it's
Hmm.
the fake people that
Hmm.
they make it hard, for the real ones to give their
Hmm.
testimony, but that's not the ones we want to worry about. So I have to put that out there, because like I said, they got so many people walking around. They act like they don't
Right.
have a past. They act like they don't have, things that they've been through, and they make it hard for people that have that testimony that need to get it out, not only just to help themselves, but it can help so many other people. But some people, they do make it hard where you're not comfortable giving your story. And I just want people to remember, that's not your audience. So if you ever get that fear in your mind, well, I don't want to talk about the sexual abuse I went through. I don't want to talk about my drug use. I don't want to talk about the physical abuse I went through because so and so may say something. Don't worry about so and so. You know, just so I just want to put that out there. One thing I want to bring up though before we wrap up, I want you to break down the different forms of addiction, because that's one thing I think people, because me and you talked about people with gambling addictions. I feel like that's one thing that people do to kind of talk themselves.
You good.
Okay. So I feel like a lot of times with addiction, we kind of talk ourselves out of realizing we may have a problem, because some of us assume that addiction is strictly drugs. So can
Mm-hmm.
you break down other things that a person can be addicted to, like, other things that they may need help with that's beyond drugs? I think
You,
are just different things that are considered a drug. That's another thing too. I think people kind of talk them, brainwash themselves into. Can you break down just different addictions that people should be aware of?
Definitely, because you know what? So many people, I get calls often, right?
Mm-hmm.
With people, because when someone say addiction, the first thing come to mind is drugs or alcohol, right?
Mm.
But and gambling typically too falls in that range. You know, someone, because gambling is such a big addiction, right?
Right.
But then you have those that suffer from eating addiction, you know,
Mm.
and that's another big one. I have a woman that I'm sponsoring right now, and she is so addicted to the sugar.
Mm.
She is heavily addicted to sugar. And I mean, when I watch how she reacts and how she performs, man, it reminds me of when I get high. Because
Wow.
yes, it's so powerful. But you know, from food addiction, sugar, to porn, gambling, money, shopping, um, work. People can be addicted to their job, to their work. Various forms of addiction. Uh, Addiction would be anything that someone obsessed behind. You know,
Mm.
whenever it becomes such an obsession to where it creates problems, you know, in your life. It actually creates problems to whereas uh uh it interferes with your everyday personal life. When you begin to find yourself doing things that you would never do under any other normal circumstance, right?
Mm.
If you would hide food under your bed, you know, because
Wow.
you know you shouldn't be eating this, and you know your family members in the home, you know, or on you about it, say that you're diabetic, and you know you're not supposed to be eating sugar, but you're so addicted to this, and you're so addicted to where you keep it away from your kids. You know,
Mm.
you have your own little refrigerator, your own little snacks, you know, in your room, tucked off, hidden away. You know, that becomes a problem. That's a problem. That's an addiction
Wow.
that many, you know, don't wanna face. And the first
Right.
step, in that recovery is admitting that you're powerless and that your life is unmanageable, right? Because you can't begin to recover until you admit that you're powerless over whatever it may be, whether it's drugs, alcohol, gambling, porn, eating, money. I know many people that are so addicted to work. They can't even
Mm.
enjoy to spend their money because they're so addicted to their job. They're so addicted
Right.
to their career, you know. And people, I've had people that I've talked with who are addicted to gambling, you know.
Mm.
And I had an uncle, man, and my uncle, he would get paid on a Friday. He would get paid on a Friday, and he would be at my other uncle's ballroom, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got poker machines in them. He would get paid on a Friday, come there about 4:30 when he get off from work. About 9:30, he broke the whole check. The
Wow.
whole check, $1,100 something. The whole check is gone. Had a great job, had a good job. But like he used to say, he'll get it back next week.
Mm.
That was his. That was what he lived by. But not realizing he pulling everything around him down. He
Mm.
causing a strain on everything else. Right. He causing the strain on everything else that is around him. And so when you begin to talk about addiction, because I had a woman on here on my show several weeks ago, man,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and she was addicted to sex, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and she became addicted to sex. And it's crazy, it's so ironic. She became addicted because at an early age, she was molested.
Mm.
She was molested. And so she was sexually active from the age of 7 years old.
Wow.
from the age of 7. And then guess what she do? She marries a sex addict.
Wow.
So together they make a bond,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they both begin to doing things that they shouldn't be doing, right,
Right.
with other people. And then he get caught in uh he get caught in some kind of porn site, some kind of chat
Mm-hmm.
room. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the site he went on or went into, it was kids. And
Oh,
see,
wow.
she didn't know that his addiction hadn't took a spin for that. So it
Wow.
turned that way, and he got busted in there with the children.
Mm.
So now he's in prison. And she shared on that story, man. She shared, you know, on how this come up, and how she was so obsessed behind the sex. She didn't drink, she didn't do drugs, but the euphoria that she
Mm.
got with the sexual activities made it just as well as like if she was putting a crack pipe in her mouth,
Right.
drinking a bottle of gin, or shooting a bag of dope.
Because it consumed her life.
It consumed her life. And I tell people, addiction is an addiction. It doesn't matter what form it comes in. And like the young lady who I'm sponsoring, you know, she was telling me she couldn't tell her family she was addicted to sweets. She couldn't tell them that because she was like, they wouldn't understand. Or she felt like, who has an eating disorder? I mean, who can't? I mean, it's no such thing as you can't stop eating, right? And that's what she's
Right.
saying. It's no such thing. How can I tell? She said, but Will, this is what I would do. I would ride from New Orleans east. I would have, she said, she would ride from New Orleans east to some part of Mississippi, right? At
Mm.
like 3, 4 in the morning, because she had an app on her phone. It was a Krispy Kreme app. And when the app, she would get alerts saying they got fresh donuts. And so when she got the alert, whatever time of day it was, she took off. That was
Wow.
before we had the Krispy Kreme in Jefferson Parish in Metairie.
Mm-hmm.
That was before we
Wow.
had the Krispy Kreme here. They had the Krispy Kreme up in Mississippi. And she would ride there every day.
Wow.
Every day. It was that bad to where when they get fresh donuts up, she get a notification. When she get that notification, she order, and she get in her car and she go. And
Wow.
she lived her life like that for a few years, you know,
Mm.
and even up to the present, when she finally reached out to me because she was by way of Addiction Matters, my show, some kind of
Mm-hmm.
way she found her way on that page, and
Mm.
she said she watched it for like a month, and she finally decided, built up the nerve, the courage to call, and to ask me, if I can assist her with it. And she's been doing real well.
Wow.
She has been doing well, from what she tells me. And because like I tell her, I said that the number one thing about this program and about addiction is honesty. Because mind you, you can tell me whatever you want, right? But the truth will
Mm-hmm.
reveal itself at some point. That's one thing about an addict. If you're in recovery, you're in recovery. But if you relapse and you try to continue living a secret life that I'm not doing nothing, it exposes itself. It will tell on you. It will
Mm.
tell on you. But some people are so uneducated about addiction, man, as a whole. They are
Right.
uneducated, and there is help out there. There is help available out there, but you have to make that ultimate decision. You know.
Now, I'm glad you just said that because that's one of the last things I want to add before we wrap it up. Definitely put it out there. Let people know who are listening. How do you seek treatment? Like what's available out there? What's the first step? Because there's going to be somebody that's going to listen, and they may not realize how they listen to this that, oh wow, like I have an addiction, or what I've been struggling with maybe it's time for me to work on it. So what's the first step, and what options do they have? Anyone that's listening, like, what options do they have to seek treatment?
Well, the first step, like the first step would be admitting that you're powerless over your addiction and that your life have become unmanageable. That's the first step. The first step is admitting. You know how hard it is for someone to admit they're addicted? You know how hard it is for someone to admit defeat? Because you got some people that's so prideful. Hell no, I ain't gonna say addiction beating my. Hell no, I ain't gonna say I'm no alcoholic. Hell no, I ain't gonna say I'm no addict, no drug addict, no shopaholic. I'm not gonna say I got a eating habit. I'm an eating addict. You know, it's admitting defeat. It's admitting you powerless. Because if you're powerless, you're powerless. I was powerless over that heroin. My life was unmanageable with an exclamation point. I was powerless. I was enslaved to drugs. I was enslaved, and I'm about to tell you about the treatment, but let me tell you how much enslaved I was. For all of those who may know, if you live in Houston or if you live in New Orleans, I'll break it down for you and give you an idea of how much of a slave I was to the drugs. If you're in Houston, I was living on the southeast side of Houston. I was close to 288. I was in the Hiram Clark area of southeast Houston, right? I walked from southeast Houston to side, right? Now, I called the guy. I told him I ain't have no money, but I took my son, I took his comforter. He had a New Orleans Saints comforter. My wife had just ordered for him offline, right? And he had a comforter for a twin bed. Well, the dude I was getting dough from, he had a son who had a twin bed. I told him I had a comforter. He said, "Shit, bring it to me. I got something for you."
Wow.
So I took that comforter off the bed. It was brand new. Took that comforter, had that comforter about 2 days. I took that comforter off that bed. It was brand new. I sprayed like some fabric freshener on it and stuff. I folded up neatly in a big old bag. And I folded that night. And that morning, I got up at 6:15. I started walking to the southwest side of Houston, right? But when I made it over there, I got over there at about 11:30, quarter to 12, like a 5.5 hour walk. I walked there, I got the dope, and I walked back. When I made it back to my house, it was 7:45. Now this is a walk. I walked 5.5 hours out. I walked another 5.5 hours back, giving it, I'm adding in the time too where I stopped to get loaded. So in New Orleans, if you want to say it, that would be walking across the Slidell Bridge, going from Mizzou all the way to the other side in Slidell, getting over there or from a walk and walking back.
Wow.
Walking back. So that was the lift. And I always tell people that. I say, man, I walked. You can damn near see. I walked from the beginning of the bridge that crossed the lake, all the way on that other side, got the dope, and walked all the way back. Walked all the way back. It was an 11-hour journey for me. This walk was like 11, 12 hours. And I remember getting ready to walk in my door, and it was dark. And I did nothing else but stop at Burger King, went in the bathroom, shot up, and started walking back. That's how far the walk was, right?
Wow.
So when we talk about the treatment, first is admitting. And once you admit that you have a problem, now seek the treatment that you need. Some of us may need detox, depending on the. Yeah. So if you want to go, you want to get into a place where, depending on the nature of the drug that you're using, some of us may need detox. And if you need detox, you definitely want to get detox before you try to go into a treatment. And I'm telling you that from experience. I remember trying to go into a treatment facility or rehab without detoxing. And I actually did it to try to save my marriage, because detox, they said I had to wait like a week. I didn't have a week. My wife wanted me in there right now. So I called myself trying to go into rehab, but knowing my withdrawals was going to be so severe, I managed to stay maybe about 48 hours. I couldn't take it. The pain was excruciating, and so I checked out. And but the steps you want to take, if it's alcohol, if it's any form of opiate, seek a detox treatment facility. They have the Odyssey House treatment facilities. They provide detox, medical detox. You have addiction recovery resources. It's called Arnold Addiction Recovery of New Orleans. They have a great program. They have detox on their ground, as well as an inpatient facility. Odyssey House has it as well. A detox on their grounds, as well as the inpatient facility. You can also go to the New Orleans Medical Center. It used to be University Medical Center. They also have a detox there here in New Orleans. And if need be, depending on your insurance, if you have insurance, you can find yourself a private medical facility that provides medical detox as well as inpatient. Now, if you have Medicaid and Medicare, you can only attend state. If you got Medicaid or Medicare, you eligible for a state-funded facility. There are not many facilities that are privately owned that accept Medicaid and Medicare. But that is something that I'm advocating for. That hopefully in the near future we will be able to change that, and where treatment is treatment, because Medicaid cover the same expense as well as a private insurance would carry. The difference is that the condition of the facility is normally different, and to say that these facilities are getting funded by the state, they should be kept up to more of a higher standard than what they're kept up to, and it really annoys me that someone can come in with Medicaid and they're treated, their program is different from versus a program that you go to that accepts Blue Shield, that accepts A1 insurance, right? And it shouldn't be no discrepancy in that. It shouldn't be no favoritism in that. It shouldn't be to where as they're held to a certain standard versus what they're held to. Treatment is treatment, and everybody within the program that's operating these facilities should be held to a higher standard, and each patient should be treated with the respect and dignity that they deserve, because we're dealing with sick individuals that are coming in trying to get their lives right. But speaking from experience, I've seen it on both sides, to whereas when I was working and had insurance and had to go to a rehab, I go to a one that my insurance cover, man, I mean, it's like luxury. You living in a nice apartment. You getting catered food. You have the nurses coming to your room. I mean, you have one-on-one attention. You being catered to. I mean, it's like going to the Betty Ford Center, to whereas, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, I was in one in Miami, man, and we would go to the beach. We on the weekends we go do all type of creative stuff on the outside, whether it was horseback riding, whether it was go-karting, swamp tours. Those are the things that they introduced. Those were the lifestyles that they introduced to us. Those were the healthy lifestyles that they introduced to us in their environment. Outside of knowing that we're coming in as addicts or alcoholics, they try to show us, they try to expose us to a different life that some of us had never seen, or possibly have seen and may have been a part of, but fell off and fell away from it, so to speak. And with your state funded facilities, all about is your money. You got a bed, you're going to get you something to eat, you're going to go to class, you're going to go to bed, you're going to get up, you're going to get you something. Where's the activities? Where are the one-on-one counseling sessions? These private facilities, they have a more of a therapeutic environment set up versus your state funded. I mean, people are just all over the place, man. And it's out of line. It's no structure. They try to implement structure, but state funded facilities are ran so different from a private facility. But there are so many detox facilities, like I said, that you can get into, and you can Google addiction. You can Google addiction resources, and you will get a list of numbers worldwide, wherever you may be, that they will provide you with a number to those that you may be eligible to get into, depending on whether you have insurance. They'll give you a list of facilities that will accept the insurance that you have, and they'll give you a list of facilities that will accept you if you are uninsured. So mainly detox first. First. Now, if you're dealing with something like cocaine, marijuana, or like PCP, something like that, you can go straight into inpatient facility, to whereas you won't need detox, because the detox can be so severe, and a lot of people don't know this here. Now, I could go in off of opiates, right? My withdrawals can be so severe, but the chances of me dying is real slim. It's very slim. Is very, very, very slim for me to actually die from an opiate withdrawal. But you have a greater risk of dying if you're going from an alcohol withdrawal. If you got alcohol, if you're an alcoholic, your chances of trying to kick this at your house, you can end up dead.
Can you elaborate on that?
And what I mean is, now they've had people, I've known people that have actually suffered from alcoholism, right? And they bypassed the going to a detox. So they actually tried to do it at home, and they went into such a severe withdrawal to where, it gave them a heart attack, and they actually passed away, because the withdrawals and the shakes are so bad and so nerve-rattling to where you can't even control it. If you've never seen a person shake, have tremors off of alcohol, man, you don't ever want to see it. I'm talking about, it looks like it looks like they're going into cardiac arrest. It looks like their body's in a shock. I mean, they're actually popping up off the floor. They're in a shake. They're shaking so bad. And you have those who were withdrawing, like myself. I went in there, and I remember, and give you a good idea of it, on the movie Ray Charles was a heroin addict. And on that movie, Jamie Foxx portrays him on a scene where he's actually laying in the bed going through withdrawals, and the doctor asks him, "Hey, Ray, I can give you something for that'll calm you down and get you through the little rough edges if you want me to." And and Ray responded and said, "No, I need to go through it. I need to go through this, right? Because I need to feel it." And see, that's when you get to that level there, because see, this time going in, that's the level where I was at. Because when I went in there, I got sick. I'm throwing up. I'm sick. The next day I'm sick. They can medically treat me to help level it off to whereas, hey, Will, we can ease this. We can ease this discomforting feeling that you have. I'm like, you know what? I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing at all. And I sat there and I prayed and asked God, and I was just that determined, man, because you never want to forget the pain. You never see a lot of addicts and alcoholics, they relapse because they forget the misery that they once was in. They forget about the misery prior to becoming sober or getting into a detox or rehab. They forget about that moment. And so in that movie, Ray was like, nah. And he sat there and he shook. Man, and when I watched that movie, I was in tears because I felt him. I felt it through the TV. He was shaking. He was sweating. He was throwing up. I mean, the scene is like, it was as real as it could be. Whoever directed that part, they knew what they was doing, because on that scene there, man, he actually was going through what an addict actually goes through that's coming off any form of opiate. An alcoholic, they will be just like that, just as worse, except they could die. They can die if they don't go to a medical detox. See, they're going to give you medicine. See, you have to get it. You can't. If you refuse it, they would have to discharge you. If you refuse the medication that they will provide you with to help you ease through this, to keep you calm, they know that you can die in a facility, and they don't want that. They don't want that responsibility. So if you sign a waiver, a disclaimer saying, you're not taking none of this, by law, by right, they have the right to discharge you, because your chances of dying is much greater versus someone who's coming in there off of opiates. And so after the detox comes the treatment part. It comes to treatment part. Once they level you out, you can find a treatment facility. Odyssey House has treatment where you can do 30 days, you can do 90 days, or you can do 120 days in there. And you also have Bridge House. Bridge House is another facility, whereas their program was from 3 to 14 months. You could be in there from anywhere from 3 to 14 months. And I tell people all the time, I tell people this all the time, because I was once like this here in my beginning, to whereas it's like, hey, okay, 30 days may seem like an eternity when you're in there, right? Because you feel like your life didn't stop. You feel like you're missing things. All of a sudden you start getting your feelings back. You start getting the emotions, and you start thinking about all the people that you have harmed and all of these things, right? And so I tell them, I say, what's 30 days? What's at minimum? What's 30 days compared to having the rest of your life free from active addiction? Free from active addiction. What's 30 days? I mean, we could get high for 30 days, right? We could start getting, I could put it like this. I could start getting high today. I could look around and it'd be Christmas, because I have no idea. I just didn't blew through 5-6 months, just that quick. When I raised my head back up, 6 months then went by, and that be the discouraging thing for a lot of addicts and alcoholics. When they get in there, the first thing come to their mind: my family need me. My family need me, man. I got to get back out here. I got to get my job, bro. I got to take care of my house, and I got to do this here. I got to do that. And I look at them and I tell them, I say, you wasn't there for your family when you was there. You wasn't there when you wasn't taking care with them when you wouldn't take care of them when you was there. So what makes you think that they missing you now? What makes you think you wasn't contributing then? You was a liability versus an asset. But see, now you have a greater chance of becoming an asset versus a liability by staying in treatment and getting the help that is needed. But like I tell the person all the time, it's not so much of what facility you go to. It's how you apply yourself when you get to that facility, right? Because they're going to provide you with the basic tools, the basic necessities that you need in living an everyday productive life. But it's what you do with it. It's how you utilize your time. Because mind you, when I was at this last state funded facility, man, look, it was 10 toes down for me. It was 10 toes down. I mean, I wasn't. It was like I'm so serious. That's why it always go back when somebody asks me what's different, and I say it gladly. We gonna have to find out. I don't have an answer for you. I don't. I can't even answer that. All I know is how I live and how I feel just today. That's all. Just
Right.
for this moment, this second. Because mind you, when this podcast is over with, I don't know what I'm going to do after that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
Right.
where I'm going when we say, okay, I'll holler at you later. It was a nice show. I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
So I just live in that moment. But you have to utilize the resources that are out there and that are available. And people need to understand that there is help out there. You can call addiction resources. You can Google that, addiction resources, and they will provide you with the numbers that are needed for you to carry around with you and for and will assist you in finding treatment. I mean, even if you got private insurance, these people even go as far as getting you there. Oh yeah, they'll book you a
Wow.
flight. They'll put you on the. They'll
Oh,
oh yeah,
wow.
that's the difference. You got private insurance, they will put you on the airplane. Ask you, do you have your luggage packed? We will. Can you get to the airport? You can't get it. Okay, we'll send an Uber for you, and they will send an Uber to your home, get you to that airport, get you on that flight, and have somebody waiting for you when you exit that plane to put you in that car.
Do you think the differences in the treatment of people who have private insurance and those who don't, do you think that kind of discourages some people from
It
getting
does,
treatment?
because you know what? Oh man, that's a good question, because just recent, the most recent, the facility that I come out of this year, right? Man, see, there were people that came up in there and they find everything to complain about. Everything, everything. But mind you, these are people who actually still have reservations, right? Because we can complain about anything. That's one thing about an addict, alcoholic. I swear, we'll dissect anything. We will find a complaint about something. They cut the lights off too early. Somebody always in the shower. The food ain't hot enough. They say I can't make no phone calls. They not giving me my medication when I. Oh man, we will come up with an excuse to check out. We will, and that be the number one reason. People will get to a facility and they will notice something is out of line, and instantly they want to make an adjustment. Instantly, they want to fix that to their liking. You know,
Right.
we as addicts and alcoholics, of course, we don't like discipline. We don't like structure. We like living our lives freely, going about our own will, and doing it how we do it, doing it how we want to do it, and when we want to do it. It's either our way or the highway, and that's what a lot of us live by. So that is a discouraging. That's very discouraging when an addict or alcoholic goes into a treatment facility and he feel as though his needs are not being met, feel as though that this here could be done better, and would often compare a private facility to a state-funded facility. And he's not at the private facility anymore because he lost his job. He don't have that insurance he used to have. So now He has to go to
Right.
the state-funded facility, but he's comparing the two. And you hear often, he will say, oh, man, when I was at that facility there, man, look, you had your own room, flat screen in the room, and all that. And mind you, before I went to this last facility, I was at the one in Miami. And that one I was in Miami, say, look, it was luxury at its finest. You hear me? It was
Wow.
luxury at its finest. It was like I was living in an apartment. I felt like
Wow.
a star. I had my own security. I had my own. I had my meals prepared for me: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I had a big old entree of snacks I could access whenever I wanted. On the weekends, I had a private driver. I'm just saying this like this here, right? Because this is how it was. I just, we had our own chauffeur who would take us to the beach. We had security who would walk with us to make sure we don't wander off and have somebody come in to bring you drugs, and things like that. But I could have easily compared that, because when I got to this treatment
Wow.
facility, this on this last rep, and compared to where I had went at before, oh man, it was like night and day. It was like night and day.
Wow.
But what landed me in this one was the fact that I lost my job. And when I lost my job, I lost the insurance I had. So, of course, I couldn't go back to this private. So I had to just knuckle this thing
Right.
down. But most importantly, see, I was willing. I was willing. I was willing to
Right.
go to any length. And until you get to that point, you have to be willing to go to any length. Any length. And
Right.
for the listeners, let me say this other thing here. What
Mm-hmm.
what halts a lot of addicts and alcoholics going forward, and not only addicts and alcoholics, but
Mm-hmm.
anybody suffering from any form of addiction. What halts that is this:
Mm-hmm.
the enabler. The enabler. See if you got the end. See if you're
Right.
living with somebody and they enabling you. Why am I gonna go get help? Why am I gonna go get
Right.
help? As long as you,
Mm-hmm.
enabling me, giving me a place to lay my head at night, take me a shower, I can eat. But I'm out in the streets and I'm living grimy. I'm doing some things. I'm taking out the house. I'm violating every rule up under the sun. I'm not abiding by nothing. I got my own law, my own rule.
Wow.
But as long as you continue to enable me, you only making me sicker. And guess what? Your assistance gonna kill me. Gonna kill me. They had
Right.
a woman call me, and I know her son. When she called me,
Mm-hmm.
another woman came to me by way of Addiction Matters, the show. She called me, and she was talking to me. And as she was talking to me, she talking about her son. And then when she said his name and where he from, I said, wait, hold on. And she finished. I said, man, I went to school with him. I know him.
Mm-hmm.
Know him, right? But his mom called me. I
Wow.
haven't seen him since we was in elementary, though. So I know him, man. And let me tell you, God, honest the truth. We talking. And she's telling me, he's living in the in the back room. He fixed up for him, and he gets to eat, he gets to shower, and he run the streets, but he do come home, and he's safe at night in here, but he's steadily picking up anything that I nail down to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's starting to get legs, right? All of a sudden, everything is growing legs and growing hands and turning the doorknob, walking out. And so I tell him, I say, I'm listening to you. And I say, I have to let you know this here, that what you're going to have to do. I said, what you're doing is you enabling him. I said, actually, you're killing him. You actually helping him kill himself. And I say, if I could put
Wow.
into more terms, I say, not to offend you. And I say, I'm speaking to you like you my mother, because everything that you saying That's everything my mom used to tell me. And not only tell me, but I know my mom was saying them same words to my wife, my dad, my siblings. I know she was saying that same stuff because you talking to me and you crying because you love your son. You don't want him to hurt. You love him. And I hear the passion. I hear it. I say, but what you going to have to do? And before I can get that out, know what she said? Wait, hold up, Mr. She called me Mr. Will, right? I'll be like, wait. I say, look, and I call her mom. I'm like, wait, mom, don't make me feel old. I say, I know it's out of respect. I said, but just call me Will. Just call me Will. And she said, no, Mr. Will, let me tell you. She said, before you say what I think you're finna say, I'm gonna let you know this. I said, what? She said, I'm not putting my son out. I'm not putting my son out. I'm not putting my son out. I'm not putting him out. No, Mr. Will. Look. No. It's dangerous out there. And I am not finna put my child out there. And I say, well, yes, it's dangerous out there. But your child out there every day. Every day.
Right.
Every day he jeopardizing himself. Every day it's a risk. Every day is a possibility you can get that phone call and say he overdosed or he been killed, right? Because see, you enabling him. And I say, and what you telling me is that you give him a couple dollars every now and then when you know where it's going. I say, so let me say this here without offending you, but I'm gonna give it to you. You call me, so you call me, you asking me for my opinion, what I feel, how we think we can resolve this, what's the solution. I say, so I've spoken, I've said this, I say, so now let me tell you this. Since you say you don't want to put him out because the streets are so dangerous, you helping him kill himself. I said, you might as well put the bullet in the gun and hand it to him. And tell him put it up against his own head. Because that's what you're doing. You're killing him. You're killing him. And I say that with all love, with all care. With all care and all honesty. I say, because I hear my mother all in you. I say, you know what? I showed up to my mom's house. Showed up to her house. Broke, disgusted, bummed out, homeless, begging for somewhere to sleep. And she told me, you can't sleep here. Would not let me in, denied me entry. And guess what? Not only did my mama do it, every one of my family members did it. My siblings did it. My wife did it. My oldest son, who has his own apartment, him and his girlfriend, wouldn't let me in. Wouldn't let me in. Because had they let me in, I would have probably taken something out of there. But they knew if they continued to enable me, I was going to end up dying. But I can say this here. With all honesty, I'm so grateful and so thankful. I had parents who cried when they said no. I had a wife who cried when she said, no, you can't come in here. My children who cried and said no. My in-laws, my father-in-law, mother-in-law, who cried, but said no. It hurted them to push me back into the street. Because if they continue to help me, at some point, they would have possibly became responsible for my death. It could have been that $10 bill that they put in my hand that I said I was going to get something to eat with, and would have got a bag of dope and would have killed myself, right? So they wouldn't allow me access into their home. They said I wanted to be a drug addict. I need to be one on the street. If I was hungry, all right, we'll bring you something. You see money getting put in my hand? That was a no-no. See finding a place to sleep that was comfortable? No. And they told me, and people in recovery, they told me, addicts sleep on the street. We need to feel that concrete. That's what we need to feel. And see, a lot of parents don't want to allow their child to feel what it's like to sleep on the concrete. Because at some point, pain will motivate your ass. enough of that pain,
Mm.
you get enough of it, it'll turn to motivation. But how can
Right.
I get motivated if I can continue to sleep in the comfort of a home, in a nice bed, take a nice shower? Huh? Where
Mm-hmm.
the motivation gonna come in at? The motivation gonna come in when I'm tired of walking up and down the street, trying to find somewhere where I can lay my head down and hide my bag at, and hope nobody don't steal it. That's when the motivation gonna come. Because
Right.
I tell people all the time, see that bridge on Canal and Claiborne, downtown New Orleans? I lived up under there. Yeah, I
Mm.
ducked off in the tent up under there. I slept on them stairs on that ramp that go
Wow.
across that bridge. I slept there. I slept up underneath the bench by
Mm-hmm.
the Greyhound bus station. I went into the hospital complaining of
Wow.
a illness just so I could get out the elements of the cold or the rain and sit in the waiting room while I faked some kind of illness to go to the back to lay in the bed for a little while.
Mm.
You know, many times, many days I went in there
Wow.
saying, feel like I was having a heart attack. Nothing was wrong with me. I just wanted to get out the goddamn
Mm.
cold. I didn't want to sleep in the
Right.
dark
Wow.
because I knew how they ran at night up there. You know? So
Mm.
yeah, man.
Wow.
But there's treatment, there's help available. First, detox. Second, find an inpatient
Mm.
facility. And once you complete that inpatient facility, get with you a good outpatient facility. You know, go to meetings. You know, you have to develop you a great support system. You don't need no, and I tell people this also,
Mm-hmm.
what you don't need is no yes men. You don't need nobody who gonna condone your behavior or who gonna say, yeah, you right. No, you need somebody who gonna tell you about who gonna call you on your shit when you wrong. You know, you need somebody that's gonna
Right.
jump up in your shit and let you know, look, you wrong or you getting loaded. You
Mm.
know, who gonna call a spade a spade. You know, a lot of people like to get around people, you know, who they can tell anything to, and they'll be like, yeah, bro, you right. Or she'll be like, yeah, baby, you right. No, you need somebody that's gonna call you out on that
Mm-hmm.
shit, who ain't gonna condone it, who gonna let your ass know when they know you running game or when you think you running game, who gonna check it, who gonna check it at the door.
Right.
You ain't gonna get no pass, you know, who gonna put feelings and emotions to the side, you know. But uh, like I said, calling addiction resources, dialing these numbers. These people have constant help around the clock, 24/7.
Mm.
24/7.
Wow.
You know, there is treatment, you know, available. And if you don't want to do it in your hometown, there are other state funded facilities that will accept you if you want to do a geographical change. Yeah, you know, there's a
Mm-hmm.
place called Teen
Oh,
Challenge,
okay.
right? If you're looking for a spiritual based, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you spiritual, they have all different types of inpatient residential treatment facilities, and they cater to your religion. You know, even the state funded. You know, if you
Oh,
don't eat
okay.
meat, eat pork. You know, these programs are set up like that. To whereas they have to cater to, you know, your religion. You know, whatever it is. Yes, yes. So
Oh,
you know,
really?
you're not limited on that. You
Wow.
know, but if you think you need a geographical change, like I said, Teen Challenge is a real great spiritual based organization. They're worldwide. They're straight spiritual, you know, God driven based facility. And they worldwide, and they program anywhere from 18 months to 2 years, you know. And mind you, I want to be clear on this here. I know
Mm-hmm.
people, I personally know people who stopped doing drugs on the street, been clean ever
Mm-hmm.
since. Never went to one rehab. I got
Oh,
a
really?
cousin used to smoke crack.
Mm.
He went to Teen Challenge. First, no,
Mm.
yeah, that was yeah. He went to Teen Challenge. That's where he went. I'm saying when I'm sorry when I say never did. Yeah, he went to Teen Challenge. His first trip, his first
Mm-hmm.
facility, and that was it. One time, one and
Wow.
done. That was it. And then you have guys, I know
Wow.
guys who never went into a treatment. They stopped right there in their house. and never picked up since. And I know an old guy come to my mind right now. 23 years clean. 23 years clean. You hear me? And it
Wow.
nothing beats a ready made up mind. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing beat when your mind
Right.
made up, your mind made up. You know, and then you have those like me. Shit. Took repeatedly trips. I used to joke about this all the time. I used to tell a lot of people, I'm like, they're like, I used to be like, I'm on a tour. I'm going on a tour. I'm touring all the facilities. That's how I used to look at it, because Lord knows I didn't ever been from the West Coast to the East Coast, going to rehabs, you know. And but the only the most important thing out of all of them I went to, you must have the desire to stop using. You have to have the desire,
Right.
you know. But help is out there and it's available. Utilize it, you know. And for those um, that are supporting and enabling the addict or alcoholic or whatever the person may be suffering from, whatever addiction they may be suffering from, please, 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 please find it in your heart to stop enabling. Because the more you enable, the more sicker they become. The more sicker they become, man.
Right.
I swear to you, you know, I can't stress that enough, man. I know a lot of people, you know, that lost their lives, and a lot of women and men that I've talked to that have expressed how much they regret enabling and wish that, you know, they can just take it back, but they be so caught up with the emotion that,
Right.
I mean, come on, who wants to tell their child you can't stay up in here? You know, it's cold outside, it's
Right.
raining, right? Your child have nowhere to go. He shows up at your front door, and you know what kind of life he living. You actually scared of him. You actually scared of him. And when he shows up to the door, you tell him no, he can't come in. That's hurting for a
Wow.
parent, man. That's hurting. That's
Right.
hurting.
Right.
But that's where your trust and belief in God comes in. Because a lot of us don't want to do that. We want to take it and we want to handle it. The best thing my family could have did, the best thing my family done, was give me over to God. And that's what they said. All of them said that, God, you gonna have to do this. I'm giving him to you. I'm giving him to you. You don't you know it was one time, and this to me is funny. It's funny now. What I'm about to say, to me, is funny. It's very humorous, and I'm gonna say it just like it went. Just like it went. My wife, I came inside because I used to always use that excuse, somebody trying to kill me, right? I used to always say,
Wow.
I owe the dope dealer some money. He threatened me. He said he gonna kill me. And yeah,
And you would
I
say
would
that
say
for
that.
her
I
to
would
let
say
you
that for
in?
her to get me some
Wow.
money. I'll be like, man, look, and
Oh,
this
okay.
is so true. Why? And tell my wife to tell you. She said I came in, I came by the house, and I said, Bing, I said, Dean, man, look, I just need. I said, man, look, I know how things going and everything right now, right? I'm trying to fake cry and everything, right? And I'm like, look, I said, man, man, I've been trying to call my mama to see if she'll wire me some money down, but I can't get in touch with her. And she said, you can't get in touch with your mama because she got your number blocked. And I was like, what? She said, yeah. She said, that's why you haven't been talking to her, because she blocked your number. Because and that's the best thing she could have did. And I'm like, well, she blocked that. She said, yeah. I said, but it rang. She said, yeah, I know it rang, but it don't ring on her end. And I was like, man, I'm like, damn. I said, well, look, man,
Wow.
I just saw, let's just say Scooter. I said, I just saw Scooter, man, and I owe him $30, man. He was telling me about bring him his $30. If next time he see me, he gonna kill me. He gonna do this and that. I say, so look, man, I don't want no beef. I don't want no trouble. I'm gonna go ahead and go to rehab in the morning, get myself together. I say, but look, can you give me $30 so I can go pay him a look? We could go up there together. I just want to give him them $30 to pay him. So he don't do nothing to me. Or I don't do nothing to him because I don't want no trouble. So you give me $30 to go pay him. And she looked at me in my face and she said, God's will be done. And I said, what? She said,
Wow.
I said again, I said, can you give me $30 to go and pay him? And she stopped what she doing, put her hand on her hip, and she looked me in my eyes. And she said, God's will be done. And I was like, I responded, right?
Wow.
And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? God's will be done. What are you saying? What are you saying? I'm telling you this nigga won't kill me. You gonna tell me God's will be done? And she said it again. God's will be done.
Wow.
I shot out the house. And look, now I'm going to look for some credit now. I'm trying to get some credit because, mind you, it was all a scheme. Ain't nobody wanted to kill me. That was the last time. I thought I could I thought I could use that again because times before, I was able to do that. It was times before where my wife brought me to the project to get the dope, because I was cutting up so bad. I mean, I'm clowning. I'm cutting up, but those were the lengths.
Wow.
I went to those type of lengths, man, to get high. But today, like I said, there are so many resources out here available, for the addict, alcoholic, the gambler, those that battle in eating addictions. Is so much help readily and available. You have to utilize the numbers, the resources that are out there for you. And like I said, you can easily log on to a computer and you can type up addiction recovery, addiction help with addiction. Simple as that. Help with addiction, and you will get a list of numbers that you will call, and here you will connect with people 24 hours, 7 days a week that will direct you to the nearest facility that you would need. They will direct you to it. They will help you, with that. And so I advise everyone, man, take that initiative, and it's such a better life. It really is. It really is, and like I was talking about earlier with the pink cloud, is just that the difference is today, I have feelings. I have emotions. I feel now. My feelings get hurt. Somebody might say something and I might cry. That shit be scary to me. You know what I'm saying? I find myself watching TV and the same part on and I'm over here sniffling. You know what I mean? Those were things that I wasn't used to. I wasn't accustomed to that.
Right.
So now I feel. I actually feel, and it feels good. Yeah, it really does. But it takes some time to get used to, because when you've been so used to being numb for the vast majority of your life, to whereas, now, when something happens and you feel shit, you really be like, like, golly, man, like, it ain't that serious, but it be like, shit, it's serious for me because I never felt this before. But we just take it one day at a time, man. We take it one day at a time. And like I said, they got so many programs out here that you can get help at, and you have to be willing to go to any length, because mind you, we go to any length for self-gratification. We do. We go to any length, man. And like I said, I have done some stuff, man. I've done some stuff. It's not too much that I haven't did for dope. Yeah.
Right.
Nope.
Right. Now, what I want you to do, like I said, you gave a powerful testimony. What are your lasting words? Like, how would you like to end this for anyone that's listening? Because you pretty much, you laid it all out, pretty much the highs and the lows. But what's the lasting words you want to do to round out all the information that you're giving for, let's say, anyone that's tuning in who, like I said, they may be dealing with an addiction, or they may know somebody, or they may be in a neighbor. What's your lasting words on just what should you do to get this monkey off your back? Like, what's the next step on how you can get to that peace in your life?
First and
How you can
foremost,
let this go.
you have to find a God of your own understanding. You have to strengthen your relationship with God. You have to strengthen that relationship with God. You have to submit yourself unto that God of your understanding. And know this, that there is hope. There is a way. You're not dead. As long as you're above ground, you have the opportunity to make a change in your life. And I tell people this, and I would always tell them, look at it like this here. You can change above ground or you can change under the ground. But one way or the other, you gonna change. You will change, whether that be on top or on the bottom. You're going to change. And to know that it's no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you fall 7, you get up 8. Fall 7, get up 8. Be transparent. Be honest to thyself. To thyself be true. To thyself be true. And know that you can tell Tom, Dick, and Harry anything that you want, but you know what the truth is. And you cannot begin to recover. You cannot begin to recover until you begin to expose the enemy for what he truly is. See, the enemy want to keep you in bondage. He want to keep your past in secret. He don't want you to expose him. The enemy don't want you to tell when you craving. He don't want you to tell when you having, demonic thoughts or evil thoughts or thoughts of using. But you have to begin to expose the truth, expose it for what it is, and know that there is help readily and available. But you have to be willing. You have to be willing to go to any length, to any length to get your sobriety, to get your recovery. You have to be willing to go to any length. And in closing, take this and run with it. I mean, run with it. Grasp what I'm finna say and run with it. Remember, there is no value in a sick mind consulting a sick mind about a sick mind. Let me say it one more time. There is no value in a sick mind consulting a sick mind about a sick mind. A loss ain't a loss. It's a lesson. Appreciate the pain.
Wow.
It was all a blessing. A loss ain't a loss. It's a lesson. Appreciate the pain. It was all a blessing. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Now, also, before we end this, give out all your contact information. Tell them where they can view the show on Mondays. Give all your social media handles.
Okay.
Every single way
On
people can contact
Facebook,
you.
please go and like the page. Go follow the page. It's called Addiction Matters 412. Addiction Matters 412. The number 412. Addiction Matter 412 on Facebook. Even follow me on my personal Facebook page, William Poole. William Poole. Poole, like the swimming pool. William Poole. And also follow me on Instagram at Addiction Matters. Addiction Matters on Instagram. And on my personal page, follow me at Jet Setter Status. Jet Setter Status on Instagram. And if you want to send me an email, maybe you're interested in the show, drop me an email at addictionmatters444 at gmail.com. Again, that's addictionmatters444 at gmail.com. Please, if you're interested in being on the show, if you just need some insight, some information, if you feel I got some news you can use, you want a little guidance on this recovery thing, on addiction, man, look, I am willing to help any and anyone in regards to that. I would love to have you on the show, whether you are an addict or not an addict, whether you have been affected by addiction, whether that be directly or indirectly. We here at Addiction Matters, we are servants. We are servants because we strongly believe that if being a servant is below you, then being the leader is beneath you. And that's where we at, man. So again, thank y'all. Thank you for inviting me on the show, man. I enjoyed it. Number one podcast going on, man. I love it, man. I love it.
No, thank you. Because, like I said, the common thread with all of my shows, I like transparency. Because, like I said, I feel like that's the only way to touch people is to be real. That's the only way. There's no testimony without a test. And I always say this, everyone's life has a purpose, and there's purpose in pain. And so thank you. Like I said, thank you for just being so honest and real. I just feel like anyone that just takes the time to listen, they will be touched in some way, shape, or form. And once again, anybody that's listening, they always know how I end every show. This is another theme. Go love yourself. Because once again, I don't care what you've been through, what trial you've been through, what tribulation you've been through, what violation you've been through. Make sure you love yourself. Value yourself. You bigger than everything you've been through. And this episode is going to be named Go Conquer, because we all are more than a conqueror. We all can overcome everything. You just have to believe in yourself. And just like William said, he's been knocked down, got back up, knocked down, got back up. I don't care how many times you've fallen. You can always get back up, and never be ashamed to fall. And that's the thing too. So I just want everybody that listens to just take heed to everything that was said in this program, the transparency, but always love yourself. I don't care what stage you are in your journey. If you're listening and you're in the middle of addiction and you like, how do I get out of this? You work something. If you're at a stage where you've gotten past your addiction, but it's a daily battle and you're just still struggling, go love yourself. So just always value yourself. You are worth something. And just remember there is purpose in your pain. So thank you again, Will. I really have no idea. Appreciate you for participating. I just appreciate your honesty. And God bless your mission. And every single day, like I said, I know it's a journey, but you have an awesome testimony, and you are a living testimony. So I just thank you so much just for everything that you're doing. And I hope God just blesses every single thing that you're touching to reach out and help other people and to continue to be an advocate.
Truly appreciate it. And thank you again for having me on.